So basically, if we see implementation user, you can see there are two roles that I have given for this implementation user. So that is application implementation consultant and IT security manager. So what both of, I mean, each of the roles will do. So IT security manager will give us the access to add the user or add the roles. So this is similar to our system admin
Some
in.
admin.
So it is similar to system admin in our tool where we can give the access to the user and we can create our own custom roles and all those things. So this is the role of IT security manager. And what is application implementation consultant? So this will allow us to create our do the setup in the application. So apart from this, it will not allow us to do any kind of transaction for the given modules. So we have the functional setup manager. So what is FSM? So FSM is something that Oracle has defined or segregated the setups from the transaction. So this FSM area will allow us to do only the configuration. Are you able to hear me?
You're breaking.
I think slow internet connection. Is this fine now? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you now.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay. So this is what we say the implementation user and employee user. So if we are an implementation user, we will not be able to do any sort of transaction where we will have access only to the FSM area, that is to do the setup and the configuration to the user. So employee user will be the one who will do any sort of transaction. So this is all about the fusion roles and responsibilities, how it is different from Artful and these things. And then we have offerings and features. So what is offerings and features? So if you see in R12, we have the roles and responsibilities based on the menus and submenus. I mean, we don't have roles, basically, I mean, the responsibilities and uses. So here it has been different into different part, that is offerings and features. And maybe to the other level, we can say options. So what is offerings? So offerings is that we say the modules in R12. So here, I mean, Oracle segregated or consolidated all the financials into one part, and the procurement as a different offering, and we have the supply chain, and we have the product development, and we have the order management and order orchestration. So these are all the offerings that we have. Offering is nothing but our modules. That is something, the collection of features we call offerings. So what is features? So feature
So,
is something.
one question, Arun.
Yeah,
In offering like order management, order orchestration, and all, will that will come in the supply chain management?
yeah, yes, it will come in. No, no, supply chain management is different from the product development or order architecture. So I'll show you in system. Maybe you will have better
Basically,
understanding there.
order orchestration is nothing but order management.
Yes, yes, correct. Yes, that is right. So it will not come under supply chain management. Supply chain management is again a different offering basically.
Okay.
Okay. So this is what about offerings, features, and options. So option is like sub classification of the feature basically. So how do we start? So basically to create our I mean start our implementation, basically we will have to create first the implementation user. So that is the first point that we will start with. So after creating the implementation user, we will have to create an implementation project for us. So why do we need implementation project to be created in Fusion application? So if you
One more
see,
question, Arun.
yeah,
If we are into a migration project,
yeah.
so is that the same process to do that?
I mean migration in the sense you are asking between R12 and Fusion, or still we want to do
Yeah,
migration?
from R12 to if
Mm,
yeah, if I'm going from R12 version to the Fusion,
okay.
so it will be the same process.
Yeah, yes, yes. We will have to do the migration. So we don't have any plugin. So we will have to do the migration. But the process will be used basically. But still, we will have to do the migration.
Yeah. So if you are doing migration also, the start will be the same thing what you are showing me,
Yeah, yes, correct. Same thing.
like
So to
creating
do,
implementation user.
yeah. So basically, to do this migration activity, there are a few prerequisites that we will have. So basically, we need to set up the system to enable system to import into our system. For example, unless we have this business unit and related setups configured in the system, we will not be able to migrate the data from the legacy system or the R12 environment. So in order to do that, we will have to follow those setups, I mean the mandatory setups to migrate the data. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these are the basic steps that we will have to do before starting any configuration. So basically, we will have to create the implementation user and then we have the implementation project. So implementation project in the sense that let's say let's take this Honeywell as an example. So what we will do is like we will create a project called Honeywell implementation. So we will create or we will assign the particular offerings and these things to this project. So after
Arun, one request.
yeah.
So whatever example you are relating, can you relate with the legacy system migrating to Fusion with the implementation and all? Can you just give a small example like that, like keeping in mind the migration one?
Yeah, yeah, sure, I'll do that. But since this is I mean, this is basic thing that with this we cannot take migration. So migration where we will have is that when we do the actual setup. So that is where we can speak about the migration. I mean, the setup part and how the data will flow and when we see the transaction. So that is when we can see. So these are like preliminary setups that we need to
For
open
anything.
yeah, to open the system to enable the configuration. So that is why if you see here, I have given the initial setup, not even the configuration. If I wanted to relate R12 and Fusion, so this is like creating our menus and submenus. So this all process what I have given is creation of menus and submenus. But creation of menus and submenus will not relate with our migration activity. Whereas migration activity is like an what do you call the big flow, but whereas this what do you call the creation of the initial setups are very small things. So where we cannot relate the data migration or the migration activity with this one. So this is just opening of an implementation thing. So maybe I'll show in system so that it will so that we will have a better understanding. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the home page for Fusion application. So you can see that multiple options we can see it here. So this is based on the roles that we have assigned. Since I have given the product management and order management roles assigned to this user, we are able to see all these things. So let's say we haven't assigned any of the roles, then maybe we will see only the social, my team, and this kind of the basic tiles. So I'll just directly go into this part so that we will understand that why do we need this. So basically we have the setup and maintenance. So setup and maintenance is the part or the area where we will do all sort of configurations. I click setup and maintenance, and this is the area that we will do configuration, or this is the shortcut to navigate for us to I mean, do the configuration.
Okay.
Sorry, can you repeat once?
So this is a shortcut to create a project or any configurations will be needed.
No, no, this is after creating the project. After we assign this project to a particular resources, then we can, I mean, we can navigate here as a shortcut. So if you see here, so I take the procurement. So if you see here, all the mandatory setups will be given here. So I will have the purchasing foundation and the procurement transaction accounting rule and the approval management. Everything will be here. So this is kind of a shortcut where the mandatory setups will be given here. And if you wanted to see or have the detailed setup list, then we can navigate to the implementation and see the list from there. And
Okay.
the another option we have is that we can search directly here. So if we know the navigation or if we know what we are searching, we can directly give here and we can get it. So
Good.
this is like an shortcut for us. So let's see how we will create an implementation. So the navigation is just click this sidebar and click this manage implementation project, and let's add a project. This is great. So let me create a test as project. So if you see here, it is assigned automatically to this user, chn.chn, and we can say the start date for this project. And if you wanted to track this project, maybe we can use this finish date as well, so that we will track this project and maybe we can see that as well. And then we have the offerings to be assigned to this particular project. So now we have created the user, implementation user, and then we have created an implementation project. Now we are assigning the offerings, all the modules. So let's say we assign maybe order management. So if you see, this is our offering, and this pricing and the order management business intelligence and all those things are features. I'm just assigning everything. Let me assign procurement as well. I'm just adding product as well. Okay, let me save and open this project. So this is nothing but we are creating one project and we are we are enabling free few offerings and tasks to be assigned for this particular project. So after we assign this particular project, then we will assign each resources. So here if you see, this is like a manager has created an implementation project. So manager will basically assign to different resources. So each modules to be assigned for each resources. So maybe product management will be handled by different resource, and the procurement will be managed by different resource. So what we will do is like we will click this and we will click assign task. So the moment we select here, we will see the users. So before this, we will have to create the users. So once we have created the users, then we can just click add and we can add the users, so that whenever we log in, we can just go into this shortcut and we can do the configurations. So this is what about the implementation project. So in this part, we will not have the data migration part involved in it. So data migration part will be involved where we have the actual transaction, the master data and all those things. So I'll show like maybe next session we can see this supplier data migration, how we will do. And we have something called rapid implementation. So what is rapid implementation? So rapid implementation is something that by through this Excel sheet, we can configure the system, the basic configuration, whatever we need, we can configure through the Excel sheet. So we will not spend much time in configuring in the system. So that is what rapid implementation is what about. So let's see in the next session how rapid implementation and these things works. And in this session, maybe we will see try to create an inventory organization, and I'll show you how it is different from Artful. So I will just navigate to maybe this project. So I click product management, and from the product management, I'm just taking this. So if you see here, I can see manage item organization.
So you're adding an item.
No, we are starting with the basics that we are creating an item arc, and
Okay.
then we will create this inventory arc, and then we will add the item class, and then we will create an item.
Okay.
Okay. So as we saw earlier, this item organization or item master is just an virtual organization, but we don't have any physical unit for this. So maybe I'll give AK item arc. So I'll just give business unit. So basically, to start our the supply chain configuration, we will need the financial part also set up before we configure. So the basic configurations like the ledger and the legal entities and the business unit should be created by the finance consultant. So once that is done, then we will attach those created business unit and legal entities here. So I'm just giving Vancouver as a location. So if you see here, so this is what all about the item master. But if you see in R12, we will have a different set of page where we will have to configure for the purchasing, and we will have to configure for inventory and order management and all those things. But this is been segregated in Fusion application. In Fusion, what we will have it in item master or organization definition is just attaching our legal entity, business unit, that is operating unit, and the primary ledger. And we are saying that this location is for this item master. So we are just clicking next, and we are attaching our item master. So this is what we have created, AK item mark. We are saving and closing this. Okay, so the next setup that we have it is to create inventory arc. So maybe if we don't know the exact navigation, we can always type it here and we can click search to get the results.
The taskbar.
No, here, yeah, in taskbar. So there, just a minute. Yeah, in taskbar. So we can give in percentage and we can click search where it will give the multiple options. From there we can select. So I have selected this product management from there. And if you wanted to understand the navigation here, maybe we can just click here. So it will give us. So it is from the product management and define product information configuration. So I'm just clicking inventory organization. I click add. So similar to our item org, I'm just attaching only the business unit and the primary ledger and legal entities. Okay, so I have just created an inventory organization named AKINV I'm just clicking next. So if you see here, we will not see the account codes where we will use it for the procurement and this thing. So we will see only the normal setups that needs to be done for this inventory organization. So this is again segregated in Fusion application. So in R12, if you see, while defining an inventory organization, we will have the account tab where we will give different accounts for it, the inventory valuation account and all those things. But here it has been restricted and it has been segregated. So when we are defining the inventory organization, we will define the inventory arc and we will give the options for it. But whereas accounts, it is taken as a different page. So where we have this subledger customization. So similar to that, we have a page here in Fusion, and we will give the respective accounts there. So based on those setup, system will pick the accounts. So for now, we are just creating the inventory arc. So we will attach the item master that we created. This is our item mark, and we say defining organization and schedule. Schedule is nothing but our workday. So that is 8 hours or 12 hours, the shift timings basically. So I'm just setting the 12 hours, and here we have the few controls like allow negative balances. So if we wanted to maintain the negative balance, we can use it. And if you wanted to use the original receipt date, that we can use. So these are like allow negative on hand transactions. So I'm not selecting any of this option. So
One more question, Arun.
yeah,
In the inventory settings, you scheduled a 12-hour Monday start.
yes,
So daily it will be a 12-hour options to you're giving access for the schedule for 12 hours
yeah,
daily.
12 hours daily.
Okay, and we can give whatever we want, right?
Yeah, yes, yes, we can define whatever we want.
Got it.
Yeah, okay. So and then we have the supplier and this attachment. So if we have specific to this particular unit
Item.
to, yeah, so that we can attach it here. And then we have large serial. So these are all similar to our R1. So the similar thing. So how do we want to maintain our lot control? And we have the serial number generation and the pack unit definition. So this part basically. And then we have item sourcing. So this is majorly for this order management and these things. So where we will define our picking rules, and we will assign it here, and we will assign our supplementary units here. So this is about item sourcing. So if we want to give the pick confirmation, maybe we can enable this one. So this is all about the inventory organization setups. So I'm just saving this. So the next setup is to create item class. So we have manage item classes. So item class is again a new concept in Fusion application where we will not have this concept in R12. So in R12, basically we will only create a template, an item template, and we will assign this template whenever we are creating an item so that it will reduce our work. So similar to this, we have this item class in Fusion application. So what is this item class? So item class is something it will have the templates assigned to this particular items. If you wanted to have a template that we can attach it here, and apart from that we have the securities and the other things that we will attach it here. So security in the sense if this particular item class should be accessed with particular employee, we can do that. Or if we want that system to understand based on the roles, then we will say this is the group. For this group, whoever has this access, user can attach this item class to the item whenever they are creating the item. So that we can do. So apart from that, we have a few action level restrictions placed in this fusion, so that we can define. Okay. So here, if you see, we have two things. One is the root item class, and the other is the customized item class. So the root item class is what is given by Oracle. So so we cannot customize root item class. Even the system will not allow us to customize the root item class. So the item classes, whatever we are creating, it will fall under the root item class. So under that we can have multiple things, but we cannot create or customize this root item class. So the moment I click add, you will see that it will be added below this root item class. So I'm just clicking this and I'm adding AK item class.
It will be added under root.
Yeah, it will be added under root item class. You can see this one. So it is always under root item class. So I'm just clicking this. Okay. So we can see that parent item class is root, and then we can see that item creation is allowed, and this is not public. So here
So
we
it is
have
only visible to us.
what is visible to us is asking. Okay, visible in the sense we have the security.
No, no,
So
I'm talking about the right side, which is like public or item creation allowed.
yeah,
That option.
no, item creation is that if we disable, we will not be able to create the items. And
Okay.
public is something that we haven't given any restriction and everyone can use it is what public. So mostly we will not use public because we wanted to have control on our item class. So that is why purposefully Oracle has given this option. Or if you wanted to use, maybe we can give access to all so that we will have it in public. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have this template. So this template we have it in R tool as well. So that is similar to that. So I'll just show. So where we have different classes. So this is similar to R tool where we have the ATO, we have the purchased thing. Everything is similar to R tool. So let's try to create one template here. So I'm just giving name as AK and we are attaching our arc. So I have selected the arc. If we wanted to default this particular template when we are creating an item with this arc, then we can give set as default. So maybe let me select from the list. So I'm just clicking OK. So we can see that AK template has been created, and then we have the item classes and these things, and then we have the status. So we will give this as an active. So here you can see that there are three options. So one is active and the other is inactive and development. So development is something that we have product lifecycle development. So where it will take multiple levels to come as a single item. So that we call the development. So we are clicking active and then we will select the user type. So this is also again similar to R12. So I'm just selecting finish code. And then if you come here, it is just an overview. So let me select each. And if you come to specification, so this is where we will give all the options to this template. So this is again similar to our R12 where we will say that maybe I'll click inventory. So similarly that we will give yes, this is inventory item stockable, and this can be
Material control.
sorry, which control? Yeah,
Material control.
material control. So material control is something that how do we want to manage our items that is
Right.
created with this template. So we are saying, so if you see in R12, the moment I select inventory items, the relevant stock and transaction will be auto selected. But here we will have to select it manually. So maybe if we want to have check materials shortage and if we wanted to have the revision control, we can enable it. Yeah, so the other options are similar to our auto, like if you wanted to maintain the lot control,
Not control.
yeah, lot control, and if you wanted to have the child lot, we can maintain it here. So I'm not extending this to simplify our process. I'm just giving without lot and serial control. And then we have the sales and order management. Again, this is similar to our auto, where we will enable customer order and these things. And if we have the picking rules created, we can attach it here. And if we wanted to enable the transfer orders enable, we can give. And if we are using this back-to-back orders, then we should enable it here. Okay. So these are the options that we have it here. Then we have the accounting rule, payment terms, and the invoicing rule. So this and all we will see when we are seeing this auto invoice. So basically, after fulfilling the order, then maybe we will have this auto invoice import progress where we will import the transaction and see that. So for that, this invoicing rule and the payment term and the accounting rule will be used. So for now, I'm just giving this option. Then we have the purchasing. So again, purchasing is similarly, if we wanted to use this for purchasing as well. And then we have whether we are allowing this to purchasable. And then we have the asset category to differentiate whether this is an inventory item or the asset item. So that we can define it here. So that for only for the asset, particular asset, we can maintain the template. And then we have the receiving options, whether we wanted to have the direct receipt or we wanted to have the standard one or after
Expected.
inspection maybe we will confirm. So that option we can have it. So maybe I'm just selecting direct. So I'm just clicking save. So this is about the template. Now we have defined a template for this item class. Then next step is to enable the security. So that is, we will have to give the access to the particular user or the particular group. So what is the difference between the person and the group? So person is something that we are giving access to a individual, but whereas group is that something that if I have the role for it, maybe the product or development role, if I have it, I can create or I can access this item class. or if I don't want to give for the groups, if I wanted to use only for the individual, then I will select as a person. So let's select this. So I would like to give for a percentage instead of giving for the group. So let me assign for this user. So you can see that it is asking for the username. So it is always based on the username, the access will be given. So I'm just selecting the user. So we can see here for which organization. I have given the org name, and let me change the date, and I'm saving this. So these are all like how do we want to generate our the item number when we are creating the item, how do we want to generate it and all those things. So do we want to give user defined or how do we want to have it? So that is all about. So these are the main two setups in the item class creation. So one is the template, and the other one is security. And in security, again we will have to give the actions to this particular user. So what is this action? Okay, so this is our user. If you see here, there are no actions defined for it. So action is something that what this particular user can do with this item class. So whether he can edit, update, or create is what all about actions. So this includes even the structure level, item structure level. So if you see here, he can read, he can delete, and also we have the different the what do you call the action items by structure wise.
So
If you see here, we can create an item class and maintain item maintenance and maintain item attributes. So these are all the individual parameters while defining it. So we have given all the access, and if we wanted to restrict a specific thing, then we can always click this and we can remove this particular action so that this user will not have access to create or maintain or anything.
so line wise we can select and delete.
Yeah, yes, line wise we can select and delete. Fine. Okay, I'm saving this, save and close. Okay, now we have created the item class. So maybe you will have an idea on item class. So item class is something at a higher level than we have only an item template in R12. So this will have more security than the R12 version of having the template. So where this will have access to the individual user or the group of thing. And if you wanted to restrict to have only the creation or only the updation, that we can maintain it here. And if you wanted to specify particular actions or the parameters to be selected for this user, that we can do it. So all those things we are making as an template in item class. So I'm closing this and let's navigate to security console. So now what is security console? So why do we need security console? So security console is the place where we create roles and responsibilities. So if we wanted to create a new implementation user, so this is the place where we will create. So click user, add user account. So we will just give the name and email, username and password. We can just create and we can log in with our own credentials. So this is how we will create an implementation user. And this is where we will create the role. So unless we attach the role, we will not be able to access anything. So we will have to define two roles as a mandatory. So one is application implementation consultant and the other one is IT security manager. So unless we have the IT security manager, we will not be able to access this page. Okay. So we have already created a user called CHN. So let's try to query this. So if you see, we have assigned different roles. So what are the roles that we need for an employee to create the item? So basically, we need these three roles. So one is the product manager, and then product data steward, and then supply chain application administrator. So this three role will allow us to create an item. So since we so when we are creating an new role or assigning a new role to the user, we will have to log out and log in. So the reason being is that the system will run in backend and update this process. So we had a process like the LDAP in R11 and R12 like this. So in R13 we will not need this where we will just log out and log in. It will affect. So basically all the progress and everything will run in backend. So I have since I have already assigned it, I don't need to log out and log in. So I'm just clicking done and I'll navigate to home page. So here I'll click product information. So here we will see different options. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating an item. So to create an item, what I will do is I'll click product information. So this is the dashboard that we can see. So if you see here, we can see supplier products and those things. And we have the item completeness. So as I was saying about the product development, where we will have the multiple phases. So this will be used for those kind of cases. So apart from that, whatever the new item request and these things as received, we will see it here. And items for definition and these things. So basically, this will give us a quick action item that user has to take. So this is a simple dashboard for the user. So to create an item, so what we will do? So we will click here. We'll click create item. So let's give our item arc and let's search our I think assignment hasn't saved. Let's check once. Maybe some matches issue, I think. So for now, I'm just selecting this Honeywell thing. So I'll just update the later part.
Okay.
So for now, I have selected HW item arc and have selected the item class. So similar to what we have selected, and this is the template that we have created, similar to what we have the purchased item. So I have clicked it and just now clicking OK. It will allow me to create an item. I mean, assign the item parameters. So I'm just clicking this as an active, and this user item type and everything selected from the template what we have given, and even the each and everything came from there. And the item structure and the casting, everything we have defined in template. So this is again similar to our tool basically. I'm just clicking this on inventory. So these are the options that we gave while we define our template. So I'm just using the template as it is, and then we have the structures and then attachments. So structures and we haven't created it. So I'm just using as it is. And catalog also we haven't used it, so maybe we will see it at later point. So for now, I'll create this item. So I click save. Okay. So the item has been created. So now, if we wanted to use this item to maybe in procurement or order management, we will be able to use it. And apart from that, if we wanted to have an image for this item, if we have, maybe we can add it here. So if we add the image, then maybe we will be able to see it here.
Got it.
Okay. So this is what we planned for the demo session. So that is, we will see the high level understanding and fusion and this thing. So if you have any questions, maybe we can address.
Sure, definitely. As of now, I'll take a look and I'll go through the. If you could send me the video link as well, I can go through and I'll come back to you if I have any questions around it.
Yeah, sure. I'll share you the video then.
Sure.
Okay. Okay,
Thank
fine.
you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we will wind up.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks very
Yeah,
much for your
yeah,
time.
thank you. Thanks.